Mr. Jaensch, a couple of days on the island. Could have picked better weather, I think.
It was very King Island weather this week. This is what it takes to grow the grass, to grow the beef and the dairy and all the other things that we're famous for here. So I'm glad we got to have an authentic King Island couple of days.
And did you meet some authentic King Islanders, I guess?
Yeah, well, I'm talking to one right now. Actually.
Well,
exactly.
I don't know if I'm authentic, but...
Maybe not representative, but no, I spoke to some people who I've known for a long time, some who I've met for the first time. It's been really good to catch up, get an update on how things are going here, how people are feeling, and some of the new projects that I think are making this one of the most positive and exciting times that I've been on the island. It's been fantastic.
How are things going?
Well, you and your listeners know better than I will know, but while I've been here, people have raised with me the same issues that they've raised in the past, which are perennial King Island issues of access, the cost of things, the availability of flights on the aircraft of your choice that have always been challenges for King Island, and to some extent always will be. One of the things that's been different this time, though, has been that some of the projects that have been simmering or starting and stopping for a few years now seem to be on a new level with a lot of strength and investment behind them, making real progress. And I think people are starting to be confident that they will help to drive a new cycle of economic growth, which leads to more jobs, more people on the island, more demand for things like air services, which is part of the chicken and egg cycle. So we've always said in the rooms where I've been on this island for the last couple of decades, talking about what we need. We need growth. We need demand, we need critical mass to make
well, we've been hearing that for a long time. As you say, we hear the same questions at the same time too, which then means we don't see improvement. Or we're still waiting for governments maybe to make decisions, and so what should change?
But what I see changing right now is we've got the dairy back in new ownership with investment going in. We've got serious investment happening in these golf courses that we've got, and potentially more of them. Big investment there, and in new infrastructure. They've got plans to bring hundreds and thousands of people through the island over the coming seasons, which is just brilliant to see.
But
the mine is profitable, and it's.
But those people, we have to get on planes.
We do.
And I know we're seeing a bit of an increase with Rex now over summer, an extra 12 flights instead of 1, 2. Sharp doing more flights, but it doesn't help growth. It is. I doubt it personally.
If we weren't growing, it's harder to make the case for anyone to provide more capacity. If we are growing, we've got a business case. And those airlines can be part of growth too, because they're in the business of carrying people and making money. The more people want to travel here, the better the business case is for them.
But so far, with airlines, with governments, and good on them in a way, all they do is filling holes, filling gaps to have airlines given the opportunity to fly to the island. Why don't we see, and I think that's more from a federal government point of view, bigger support to increase and to make those businesses sustainable on their own legs, on their own wings, to name something?
Now, you know better than I, there's been a federal inquiry underway. There have been some hearings on the island. There's been submissions. The voices of King Islanders have been heard in that process. So we'll monitor that and make our own representation to the federal government regarding the settings for regional aviation, which are critical. In the meantime, as a state government, we're doing things like securing the existing or the additional up to 6 flights a week from Sharp over the busiest part of the year, so that we're not missing out on capacity after Rex cut back some of its services as well. So we need to work in the short term to meet demand. We need to work in the long term with the feds in terms of the operating environment for regional airlines to make sure that they become a viable part of airlines businesses, not just a very hard to service small market at the bottom of the world and the bottom of their map.
So what can we do? You think that because we want to increase tourism, we want to make life more sustainable for people on the island and the cost of living, $600 for return airfare to Launceston is a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
And that's not going to change by the look of it, no matter what we put in, no matter what we support. And is that going to be a bottleneck for us?
And I think it is now. And I think it will continue to be a constraint in the future. I don't think we can look forward to a perfect situation where all of our access, freight and air services are going to be solved forever. We're going to need to keep working on it. This is business and it's policy. We need to work on both fronts, but it's much harder to do that if the King Island population and economy is shrinking. The fewer reasons there are for people to travel here and to be paying for freight to come onto the island, the harder it is to make the case for those services to be cheaper and more accessible to people. So growth is a key, and at the moment we've got major drivers of economic growth going strongly here on this island. We're not contracting, we're seeing growth and more investment.
How are we growing? Because when you look at it, the big farming corporations that have taken over the farms from King Islanders only have a marginal staff here, with often managers that are here for a few years. You look at the mine, it's mostly fly-in, fly-out workers, where they promise that first we want to employ as many locals as we can.
Yep.
We don't see a population growth right now.
But we see more economic activity, and we need to work out how we are using that to drive the local economy. So up at Ocean Dunes the other day, one of the things that was most impressive for me, while they're building new accommodation, 50-odd rooms there for the golfers who will come, or holiday makers or people coming for meetings or conferences or conventions at a beautiful location, there was 20 or 30 tradespeople there, mainly King Islanders, including apprentices who are getting their apprenticeship because of that project.
But we talk a handful, eh? We only talk a few people. It's great to see, and it's a starting point.
A new group of qualified tradespeople will come out of that project, and they'll be able to see the next projects lining up after that. That's a reason for them to stay and keep working here, and it means more tradespeople for all of King Island that have been trained on this project. Now, maybe that wasn't happening before. That's the sort of growth we need to get. And when I talk to those operators up there, they're going to need to feed all those visitors. They're going to need to feed them premium King Island beef and
which is nice for tourism, definitely,
and whiskey and wine, and they're going to need to have their laundry done somewhere. They're going to need someone to drive them around the island and to and from the airport. There's lots of opportunities that come out of that if we're willing to do business with these investors who are willing to invest here.
But now say we have 7 or 8 what we call bigger businesses on this island. Any director in those businesses, any owner of those businesses, do they live on King Island? No, none of them. So we see, a lot of people see on this island, feel like these people are using this island. Be it the grass, be it the water, be it the trees, be it the mine or whatever. That is not really growing King Island. You need almost industries that do employ people, even in different categories. Hey, even have a business that sets up an AI data center here that employs 50, 60 or 100 people. That is growth. Because the way we are growing now, the population is similar to what it was, say, 7, 8 years ago, even smaller. So we're not growing, really.
And if there are King Islanders out there who have proposals for significant brand new businesses that can employ dozens of people, we want to hear from them. I mean, and we'll support them all the way. At the moment, the people who are coming here with money and seeing opportunity here are from elsewhere. Australians, in a lot of cases, there's some overseas as well. But I don't think we should be refusing that investment and the opportunities it brings to the island.
Oh, we definitely shouldn't refuse it, but it doesn't really grow the population. And we see people now say older people are leaving this island, they're moving to mainland Tasmania because they say, for example, my kids and my grandchildren are living in Melbourne or in Sydney or whatever. for them to come and visit us in Devonport or Launceston is a third of the price than when we stay on King Island, and they have to come all the way to King Island. So there's that massive barrier that we need some other filling or another form to make it attractive.
Yep.
Because even for a lot of tourists, if you don't play golf and you just come here as a tourist, lots of people come here and great. But there's also plenty of people who would love to come here, but they look at accommodation, car hire, and the cost of a flight. And with a family of 4, if you come from Sydney, $10,000 is gone in a week.
Yep.
That's an expensive holiday.
Yeah, it is absolutely. It is absolutely. And so
which makes it unique in a way, but it's like...
Yeah. And it makes it difficult for families to move to and from the island, as you say. But with the forms of tourism that I'm seeing here at the moment, they're very much targeting people who enjoy doing that and plan to do it every year, visiting one of the top 100 or one or more of the top 100 golf courses in Australia or in the world. And playing into that market means there are people there who are less sensitive to those price pressures, who are coming and spending that money here instead of going to the United States.
Yeah.
And we need to make sure that we're growing that. And I'm really glad to hear that there's people talking about another couple of golf course ideas, which might mean that instead of people coming here and playing one of our courses for one day and then moving on to another one in Victoria or somewhere else in Tasmania, maybe staying and playing 2 or 3 or 4 King Island golf courses, and that's their whole holiday with their friends, spending on a premium experience that we can provide all of right here.
But here again, and not being negative, once you've done the golf courses here, for a lot of golfers, it's ticking the boxes. Being there. What will be more important, I think, is that if we had a lot more businesses that sort of relate with the golf, be it a wellness centre or whatever, where then mum and the kids come with the boys and have a holiday on King Island.
Because all the girls, I mean, crikey, I don't play golf. I know lots of people who do, who have partners and families who either feel totally left out of it or want to find something else to do. And I think there's a huge opportunity there for the partners and families.
But then we have the chicken and the egg again. Who starts first?
Exactly. But if let's think about it. If you're I don't know if you're a golfer, Wade. No. I'm not, but
no.
I can imagine that sometimes there's a tense conversation about someone who wants to go and spend another $5,000-6,000 going on a golfing holiday with his mates. Takes the curse off it if he can take the family and they can have a really good time too. So this might be the way to get your golfing holiday, is if we've got a program and things to see and do for other members of the family. And I know that there are tours around this island. There's amazing things to see. There's beaches where you can be the only person, in
that's why we want more tourism, so you're not the only person anymore on the beach. But I know.
But then you go and ruin it. So you have to book your beach. Yeah.
What other things did you come across? It's like you've spoken to some individuals too, or was it all mostly related to cost of living, travel, getting off the island?
We did talk to a number of people, including over lunch at Phoenix House and in the men's shed there. We talked to some people there who gave us some insights and some examples of their experience with the PTAS system, with needing to get on and off the island for appointments and health things. So we've got a bunch of questions that we're going to take away and get some answers for them on. We spoke to a volunteer ambulance team and went to the ambulance station
forever for their hub now.
So there's the tenders are now open for the new ambulance station, and we talked about what that could look like and what it needs to be able to accommodate for
What do you think the hold-up was? Because our Premier promised me last year, September, that building would start in the next 3 months.
Well, that was last year, September. We've got the tender, but we've also had a couple of budgets since then. We've been through a little bit of a busy period in terms of elections and interim budgets.
Yeah, but this budget was already set aside
since
for it.
Since the original commitment was made, and it's had to land in our first proper full-year budget over the last couple of years. So there's been a little bit of a delay getting the money together for that, but it's now out to tender, so we should see that moving fairly quickly. But we've met with a number of individuals and heard their stories, and I'm not going to share all of their...
No, I understand.
As well as meeting with the King Island Racing Club and talking to them about the future of the races here, and now they're working hard to see if they can get the horses, riders and the other entourage that's needed to make the Cup Carnival work here. If they can get that together in time, they'll have Tas Racing's support to do that. I was able to confirm that while we're here as Minister for Racing, that if they can get the numbers and the horses, that Tas Racing will provide the support and the funding to make it all happen. So that's work that's underway right now, which some had been concerned might not happen. We can't guarantee that they'll be able to get the horses, but you know, the people here on King Island who run the racing club are very persuasive people, and they're on the phones and emails now to try and get those numbers together. So that looks positive. We went out today and spent time visiting the mine at Grassy and having a look at that and the work that's underway to prepare for for underground mining. And also we had a tour through the processing facility there, which is fascinating, to produce this valuable powder that the world needs.
Yeah, when you look at it, you think it's nothing, but somebody seems to be able to do something with it, and it's worth a bit.
Absolutely. Yeah. Particularly at a time when we've got places like China, who control a certain amount of the market, are using it all for their own purposes, and the rest of the world needs it. We're in a very good position, and we've got some of the highest quality deposits here and ores, and we've met some of the people today who take that rock from the ground and turn it into a commodity that the world needs, and that was fantastic. And their plans for the future and the profitability of that are, I think, we've got a lot of people to thank for that. Tasmanians included, Tasmanian government included, who invested in it and who believed in the future of that mine, and now it's starting to pay back.
Wouldn't it be great if politics worked the same way, that you break a rock and there's a product that can be used by anything and it's worth a lot? Would be nice, wouldn't it?
I find it very rewarding as a job, but you've got to go through a lot of hard stuff sometimes to get that. Yeah.
Thank you, Roger.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.